Tonight on Oregon Art Beat, Laura Ross Paul demonstrates her unique painting technique and shares some surprising insights into her work. Tom D'Antoni discusses his new book about making up stories for the tabloids. And the brothers of Baladi almost gave up playing their Middle Eastern music after the events of 9/11. Now they're using their music to help bridge the cultural gap. Oregon Art Beat is next.
There was a time when Oregon's #1 Middle Eastern band couldn't even bring themselves to perform. And that time was after 9/11. Lucky for us, they changed their minds and have dedicated themselves not only to bringing the music of the Middle East to American audiences, but now to bringing some understanding and reconciliation. They've been around a long time and are facing the future with even more confidence. Let's meet the brothers of Baladi.
Zincirler bağlandım kaldım Bucra derim parmaklıklar doğru gardiyan gardiyan gardiyan.
That's the Brothers of Baladi today, in a time when things Middle Eastern are often fraught with negativity, distrust, and fear. But it wasn't always like that. 30 years ago, Michael Beach was living in Yuma, Arizona, and teaching the 6th grade.
And I met a woman. Her name was Zamara, Mary Marshall, Sam. And she was a belly dancer in Yuma. And she turned me on to the whole thing. I went down and, first watching her, and then pretty soon I was helping run her tapes. And pretty soon I was announcing her, and then pretty soon I was playing some bongos and doombek to her tape music. And then I found two guys, and we started playing. And one night, our MC, just out of nowhere, because we were just kind of jamming, one night he turned and he said, "Please welcome." He looked over at us, he said, "Brothers of the Baladi." And I don't even know where it came from. It just came out of his mouth. And that's what we were. and it stuck, and I kept the name, and here we are.
Zincirler bağlandım kaldım Bucra derim parmaklıklar doğru gardiyan gardiyan gardiyan.
Baladi is an Arabic word. It means folk or country or homeland. But it also refers to the music too, because when you say play the Baladi music is the folkloric music, and usually it refers to the older folkloric music too. I ended up in Oregon, and that's when I met Joseph Pusey, and we were as a duo for many years. And then things really changed in 1990 or so when we met Michael Kersey. Michael Kersey joined the band because Joseph and I had always dabbed in Middle Eastern rock. But when Michael Kersey came along, that's when we became a little more of a Middle Eastern rock band, and that's really kind of where it's gone since then.
When I heard Michael, I was knocked out, and I was in the middle of making a personal record that needed something other than a Latin percussionist. He came in and he played the most beautiful hand drum, a pattern called Masmoudi Kabir, and we used it on the track. And then very soon after that, Michael asked me to get involved in the Brothers of the Baladi as a bass player.
Why is the world so beautiful and tender when you are here with me? And what's the secret given in surrender? When will you set me free?
We love the Armenian music, we love the Arabic music from all the different countries, and the Turkish and the Persian. Michael has listened to a million songs from that region, and we have a really deep repertoire. What I try to add as a rock and roll bass player is the thump, and he adds the wiggle.
Have you ever been able to figure out what exactly it was about this music that got to you?
No, I've tried, but I can't. I can just tell you, it just grabbed me like none other. You know, and I'm an American, I grew up like everybody else and raised on rock and roll and Frank Sinatra and, you know, my parents, the music of my parents, and I can't explain how it grabbed me.
Of the many unfortunate results of 9/11, one has been a demonizing of all things Middle Eastern by a lot of Americans. The Brothers of Baladi were not excluded from that.
9/11, the morning of 9/11, Jeff George and I, the keyboardist, went down. We were working on the new album called Hope, of all things. Look at that one. And we went to the studio to continue working on it. We went down there, and all of a sudden, boom, there it is. We just sat around. I get tingles just talking about it.
And we had a very dear Moroccan friend, a musician, with us.
Yeah.
And it struck him very heavily as well.
And we just sat there and watched the TV, and you know, couldn't even move. Obviously, we didn't do anything that day. In fact, we put the whole Hope album aside. We put all Hope aside for months.
Yeah.
Months and months. I just couldn't even touch it. Yeah, it hit us strong. You know, we're Americans, but here we are playing this music. And to tell you the truth, there was a while there where I actually felt, I don't know if I could say, I felt guilt. I felt like, what am I doing? You know, after all these years, what am I doing? I felt guilt. I felt bad, and I almost didn't even want to touch it again. You know, it took a while.
Ruin our lives for a while. We were heartbroken, and it did take a couple of months to get going on the album with a new attitude that we could be ambassadors for good things to happen, bridging the cultures of the Middle East and the American culture. It was a tough couple of years to revive the fact that we're playing music of the culture. We do not align ourselves with any of the political events that are going on over there at all.
But times change, and so do attitudes. As you can see, events have not stopped the brothers. You don't give up a life's work and a culture thousands of years old because of temporary contemporary conflicts. As a matter of fact, they are taking their music and that culture in even newer directions.
Well, actually, we're very excited about this CD because it's a little bit of a different take, because we're going with a little more modern sounds, a little more rock edge, as opposed to our traditional CDs, which we have many. So this one's really got a little more of an edge, and definitely more rock, more English, and good drum beats.
And when we're on stage, we play a stronger, more rocked out version of many of the things you hear on the traditional albums. And that reflects what we're doing on stage right now, too.
I'll never be Middle Eastern. I don't want to be Middle Eastern, but to sing it and to speak it, that's really that's the essence of this music in a way, and it's really a joy when I can sing these songs for Americans, because that's pretty much my thing, is to bring this music to Americans.
The Brothers of the Baladi will be playing in Portland on December 23rd at Verbati's Pan. Learn more on their website, baladi.com.